guys, it's Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be retesting makeup that I hated or makeup that just didn't work out for me. Since moving, I have decluttered so much makeup and it's just been sitting around because I need to do this video, and so I haven't been able to throw out these products yet. So yeah, finally recording it today. So yeah, nothing too crazy today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell to join my little family. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with primer, the NYX Marshmallow Primer didn't really work out for me. It's not that I hated it or that it was like a horrible product, but I just prefer other products over this. So this is supposed to be a pore diffusing primer, but it's quite liquidy. And I just prefer my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer a lot more. Like, it diffuses my pores so much better. And this has a super strong marshmallow scent, which I'm not the biggest fan of. It's like overly sweet. And it doesn't even smell like real marshmallows. It just smells like an actual artificial fragrance, if that makes any sense. And this is a very, very dewy primer. Like, my skin is so dewy. Like, my skin looks and feels oily, and I have a drier skin type, so the fact that this feels oily on me isn't really a good thing. So yeah, my thoughts on this has not really changed because honestly, it doesn't blur my pores as well as other products. So now for foundation, I tried out this Neutrogena Healthy Skin Glow Shears Tinted Illuminating Moisturizer, and this has SPF 30 in it. It's lightweight, it's oil free. I am in the shade light to medium 30, and I had such high hopes for this because I love Neutrogena as a makeup line, but this just did not do it for me. So I've tried this with a sponge, a brush, everything. It brings out texture and patches in my skin that I didn't even know I had. So that's never a good sign when it comes to a foundation or tinted moisturizer. And this oxidizes so much. Like, it went on like a light yellow, but now it's like orange. Do you guys see right here how orange it is? That's so bad. Alright, so that oxidized so heavily. I look really, really orange. But moving on to concealer. The concealer that did not work out for me is the Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. So this supposedly was a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. And I've heard that the original Tarte Shape Tape is just really, really drying. And so this one is super drying as well. It's super drying. Like, it applies on really nicely at first, but then throughout the day, like, I think after 30 minutes of wearing it, it just makes my under eyes look so dry and patchy and cakey. So it's not my favorite concealer. Another one that is comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear, and that one I like a lot more. It's super full coverage, and it is more hydrating underneath the eyes. Also, this is so drying that I have to apply concealer as I'm blending, or else it kind of sticks to your skin if you don't blend fast enough. So yeah, it's already starting to make my under eyes look very dry, and I do not like that. It's just not that good. I wish it wasn't so drying. Otherwise, I think I'd really like the formula. Now for cream blush, this is the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in the shade Berry Smooch. And I remember not really liking this because of the way that it blended out. Like, I think it stained my skin very quickly. So I just have a little bit, and I'm just gonna apply the smallest amount because I remember this being like super pigmented. Yeah. Oh, this actually blended out quite nicely. I think last time I used my fingers, so it wasn't the best form of blending. So this is looking a lot nicer with a brush doing the blending. The color is not my favorite, but I was going through a phase of like really enjoying berry colored blushes. I don't know why, but I'll definitely go pick up the other shades of this blush because I really am liking the way that it's turning out. Okay, now on to setting powders. These two sadly did not work out for me, and they are both overly hyped drugstore powders, which is so sad. So the first one is the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, and then the second one is the Fit Me loose setting powder. My problem with the e.l.f. one is that it's just simply too drying. It makes my skin look disgusting, so drying, emphasizes all my dryness and patches. My problem with the Maybelline one is that this one is so cakey, so heavy. It leaves like a very vivid powder residue, and yeah, it's just so cakey and just too thick. So I'm gonna use both of these, one on this side and one on this side. And so lately I've been going in with a dry sponge to set my under eyes. So I'm gonna use the e.l.f. one first on this side. It really made me sad when I didn't like this e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder because so many people like it. Huh. It looks really pretty. What the heck? Hold on, I gotta get a closer mirror for this. When I apply it with a sponge, this is my first time applying it with a sponge, by the way. I haven't touched this powder in so long because I was under the impression that I hated it, and I used a brush last time, but with the sponge, it's actually so smooth and pretty. That is so weird. This actually looks so beautiful. Okay, maybe I shouldn't throw out this powder yet. I'm gonna keep using it on a sponge, and hopefully that's the trick to getting this powder to work, because maybe you just have to use a sponge and not a brush. Even with the Covergirl concealer, like it's not looking drying, which is so weird. Wow, I'm really excited now that this is looking so beautiful. So now I'm gonna try the Maybelline one on this side. I got the shade Light 15, but I honestly probably could have gotten away with a lighter shade because this is very, very tinted. This is more for like all over the face rather than just underneath your eye. I'm gonna use a different sponge. This is so tinted, it made my under eyes pink and orange. I will say I do like the compact version of this powder, but the loose version is just not my favorite because it's just too cakey. And this color is way too dark for me. I literally look so bright over here, and then over here it's just like so dark and orange. Okay, yeah, my thoughts on the Maybelline one is still the exact same. So cakey. It just looks so powdery. Like I don't like it. And there's just like a very obvious layer of powder. So okay, next up we have blush, and the blush that did not work out for me is the L'Oreal Paris Blush Please. It is a shimmering blush. This is in the shade 12. This is what it looks like. It looks so pretty, right, in the pan, but sadly this blush just has no pigment whatsoever, and it left just like glitter on my face, like glitter and shimmer with absolutely no pigment of any type of blush, which is so weird. So yeah, I'm just literally gonna pack it on there. No pigment. It's adding a little bit of something, but I'm really packing it on there, guys. And overall, it's not even as pigmented as other blushes would be. And there's just so many sparkles. I'm just not a fan. This is what it looks like after packing it on and on and on, and then just millions of specks of glitter on my face. So. And for bronzer, the one that I don't particularly like is the NARS Laguna one. This is just so chalky, and the color is just so like to me. It's just ucky. I don't know. It's not my favorite bronzer, and for being, you know, high end, I kind of.
2 hours later.
All right, hi guys, welcome back. So what happened was my camera died. So I currently only have one battery with this new camera. I haven't ordered any more because they've been sold out in stores. So I've been waiting for my new ones, or like my additional ones, to come in. So it has been like about an hour or 2 hours since you guys last saw me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and touch up my makeup with the e.l.f. powder because I really like that. Or I really like this powder. So for it being a high-end brand, I expect more from it. Alright, so we have pretty much the base done. Next is just highlighter. And this guy right here is the Makeup Revolution Luminous Gold Liquid Highlighter. I had high hopes for this because it looks super pretty in the bottle. And the color is like, it just looks gorgeous. So I had really high hopes for this. Looking at it, it would just look like a gorgeous liquid highlighter. Kind of like the Rare Beauty one, which is one of my favorites. But when applying it, this is easily the most glittery highlighter I think I've ever used. In camera, it looks pretty good, but guys, in person, it's like liquid glitter and liquid shimmer. It's so weird. It doesn't look like a good highlighter at all. It looks like I just applied a bunch of glitter to my cheek, so not the biggest fan of this. And then I have another highlighter that I'm gonna do on this side, and it is the Revlon Skin Lights highlighter in the shade Twilight Gleam. So gorgeous. I was so happy to dive into it, but this is incredibly chalky, so it doesn't go on the skin smoothly. Not only that, but it really emphasizes all of my texture. Like, it's very blinding, I'll give it that, but if you emphasize my texture, that's typically like a no-go for me. That's a really big deal breaker. You can be intense without highlighting my texture. For example, Becca Champagne Pop Chef's Kiss, that's amazing. It's like very pigmented, very blinding, but it doesn't emphasize my texture because it's very buttery. I've never tested this out on my nose because I love a blinding nose highlight. So let me just go ahead and test this out on my nose really quick. Yeah, I still don't like it, just because it has too much glitter in it and it's too powdery and chalky. Moving on to eyeshadow. So the palette that I didn't really like, and I wasn't expecting me to not like it, it is the Huda Beauty Nude Medium little palette. It has nothing to do with the formula or anything like that. This palette's a little bit too warm toned than what I typically wear, like very, very warm toned, and the colors show up very differently from what they look like in the pan. So, but I don't know, I've been getting kind of into pinks again lately, so I really want to try this palette out again because pinks have been my go-to lately. To start off, I'm going to use this really light pink right here, all over my lid. I really like Huda Beauty's formula though. I feel like they're like very pigmented but still sheer and natural at the same time. Sometimes I don't really care for crazy pigmented formulas because then they're kind of harder to blend on the eye. So I really like these soft sheer ones that still show up. Alright, now I'm going to use this darker pink right here to kind of deepen up the look just a little bit. I'm gonna kind of focus this in the crease of my eye. Again, like I stated before, the colors aren't really showing up like how they look like in the pan. They just show up very, very warm. Like, cause these two colors that I selected, they are a little bit more on the cooler toned side, but the way that they're showing up in my eye, they're just like straight up very warm and pink and red and orange. Not the biggest fan of that. Now I'm going to use this shimmer and just pack that all over my lid. It's like the prettiest pink. It looks really, really pigmented too, so. Oh yeah. This is a foil shimmer, which is my favorite kinds of shimmers because they just are so like poppy and pigmented and you don't really have to try with them. And then I'm going to go in with this dark brown to just deepen up the outer parts of my eye. I remember this dark brown being like an actual dark maroon. So yeah, like I said, every color in this eyeshadow palette is just so warm. And then I'm just going in with the first pink I used to kind of blend out the top. And then I'm going to use the second shade of pink I used, the darker one, and put that on the bottom part of my eye. Okay, so the eye look is done. Moving on to mascara. So surprisingly, the mascara that didn't work out for me and that I didn't really like was the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. This guy went viral. Everybody seems to love this mascara a lot, but I just don't really see why it's so good. Maybe it's because I don't have lashes that work really well for it. But yeah, I just don't think it's that good. There's what the wand looks like. Retesting it to see if, you know, I like it or not. Honestly, in my opinion, this reminds me a lot of the Glossier Lash Slick because they're both very drying, lengthening, separating. They keep your lashes very natural looking. I was expecting this to make my lashes look very long and bold just because from the TikToks that I saw, that's what her lashes looked like. But I do have I have very, very weak lashes. So yeah, this isn't a bad mascara by any means, but I just didn't really see the hype about it. And there are plenty other drugstore mascaras that I would reach over this one that I personally think are a lot better. All right, so eyes are done. Moving on to lips. So sadly, a lip product that didn't work out for me is the Jouer liquid lipstick. I got mine in the shade Hera. So this is a lip cream. So it's not a liquid lipstick, but it's a lip cream. And this is just so incredibly drying. I don't know if you guys can see from just like looking at the texture of this, but this is so drying. Ugh, I hate the feeling of it. It's like the feeling of a liquid lipstick that's already dried down, which is a shame because this color is like gorgeous, but this is not creamy whatsoever. So drying, so stiff. I feel like I'm putting dry paint on my lips. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Now the last product is the Colourpop Luxe glosses. Just a few of these I didn't like because they have like a bunch of glitter in them. Here you can see there's a bunch of glitter in there. It feels super gritty on my lips and I hate that feeling of grittiness. And some of these color options were just not it. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do with this. Like, this is obviously a gloss topper, like it's meant to be worn with a lip product, but it's just such an ugly pale color. I feel like there's no point in wearing this over something if it's just gonna completely wash out the color that you have on. I love Colourpop's lip oils, but their glosses are like a different story. Only some of them are like misses. So this one is in the shade Candy Kiss, and it's just a really ugly pale pink, and it's gonna completely wash out my lips even though I've added a color to it. So these are so glittery. I feel like this is borderline kids makeup. Like, I don't know. And as you guys can see, it washed out the color of my lips because this is such a pale gloss. And there is a lot of glitter in it, so yeah, just not the biggest fan. And then last but not least, setting spray. We have the Morphe and Jeffree Star collab Set and Refresh Mist. I have not used this in a very long time, so I don't remember what my thoughts were on this. So oh my god, my lip gloss is like getting disgusting. My lips feel so gross right now because I have two products on that I absolutely hate. But anyways, moving on. I don't remember my thoughts on this because I haven't used it in so long, so I'm just gonna try it out again today. Oh my god, okay. I remember why I didn't really like it. This smells like freaking sour gummy candy, and it's just not good. It's just not good. Alright guys, so that was my video retesting out products that I hated. I pretty much didn't change my mind on like any of these products besides the Milani blush and the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, which I'm saying it again, use a sponge to apply with, not a brush, because you'll look like a dry mess if you use a brush with this. Everything else is like not good. Okay guys, so that was my video testing out products I hated. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one.